development platform and the largest corporate accelerator in Russia, in CIS and Eastern European countries. So basically, we are doing tailor-made acceleration programs for international and Russian companies, and also some educational programs, international programs, innovation strategy, and so on. We continue the series of our webinars, of our talks with the most innovative companies. And today we are going to discuss this very important question on future skills and necessary know-hows in order to build talented teams to launch innovations within a corporation. So Jelto, please introduce yourself. Tell us about your core activities at AirBusiness Academy. Yeah, and we can start.
Okay, hello everybody, and thank you for the kind introduction, Amy. And it's very honored to be with you. I'm very much looking forward to this session with you. Just a few words about AirBusiness Academy. We exist now for 30 years, and we are, like Amy said, AirBusiness Academy is part of Airbus Group, and the headquarters is in Toulouse, but we have also an office in Beijing in China. So we are an in-house faculty, and we design trainings, deliver customized learning solutions, and consultancy services. We have over 500 associated consultants all over the world, and we can deliver all over the world our trainings and our workshops. Our aim is to deliver inspiring experiences to foster innovation and facilitate business transformation through trainings, workshop facilitation, coaching, and consulting. If you want to find more information about that, you can go on the webpage airbusinessacademy.com/innovation.
Okay.
So
yeah. Yeah, sorry, I just wanted to know, to notice that we are going to send your contact details to the participants.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So just a few words about me. I'm innovation trainer, coach, and facilitator. And as an corporate innovation expert, I help upskilling people within the company and help also projects to assure the expected outcome for the stakeholders. So my scope is to contribute to the end-to-end innovation process, from ideating, incubating, accelerating, and scaling up successful business ventures within Airbus, but also on the external market all over the world. So I use a set of training modules, which I'm happy to share today with you. And I'm very much looking forward to engaging discussion afterwards. So
Great.
I think, Amy, we had prepared a pool. Maybe we can launch it?
Yes. So because actually a successful talent management is very important. And as the subject today is find out the key skills we need to develop within corporate teams, we would like firstly to ask our participants what are the key skills necessary to develop corporate innovations. So we're going to launch a poll now. You see some options to answer on your screen. So please vote. What do you regard as the most important skills required for successful innovation in your organization? And we will wait a little bit so our participants can choose the options. And just to give a brief overview of what we're going to discuss today with Jelto. So we will discuss the skills. Then we will also talk about a mindset, a startup mindset. Why is it important to bring a startup mindset within a corporate teams? And we will finish on how to build a strong teams to launch the corporate innovations. Okay, we'll wait a little bit more, I think. Okay. So we can see the results. Yeah. Do you see the results, Jelto, on your screen?
Yes, I can see it. Very interesting. I see the first place is creative thinking, then design thinking and business model innovation. Great. And also the agile way of working and system thinking and complexity. Okay, so I will come back later to the result of the pool. And maybe I will continue. Yeah, we can continue with our webinar, and
Yes.
I will come back to this very interesting result later. Okay.
Okay. So in this case, I found actually a very interesting statistics. According to the PricewaterhouseCoopers survey, 74% of CEOs said that there is a lack of availability of the right skills, and it's very concerning. And even before the pandemic, it was an issue for them how to train relevant peoples and how to find relevant employees. So, what, in your opinion, what are the top challenges you would like to point out, and what are the most important skills to overcome these challenges?
Okay, so this is interesting that you introduce also the COVID crisis. And I think that the challenges we have for upscaling innovation teams is much more important right now during the COVID crisis. And we have really to pay attention on what kind of skills we put into the company and how we put it in place. Before starting about the concrete methodologies and skills we need for in the corporate innovation, I would like to give a little bit context. In context why it is important to upskilling your workforce and to meet the innovation challenges. You might know Simon Sinek, start with the why. So I think it's important to ask this question at the beginning. So studies shows that upskilling and development initiatives can stimulate innovation within the company and boost the employee engagement. So through innovation training programs, employees develop their creativity and problem-solving skills. So they become better in adapting to change, like at COVID crisis, for example, and improve also their flexibility. So what I think, my personal opinion, is that innovation must stay internally in the company to create a culture of innovation and for long-term results. So this includes things like to set up and run acceleration programs, organize and manage the innovation portfolio, or scale up the right idea and manage the link with the core business in alignment with the company's overall strategic plan. But to run this innovation machine successfully, we need a profound upskilling of corporate innovators. So what we do at AirBusiness Academy is on-the-job learning. It's not only to give the right methodologies and tools, but really to engage a real transformation of the business and creating an innovation culture and the right innovation mindset. So you might be aware of the general trend that business organizations increasingly recognize the development of new products and services requires new skills and different approaches. But what are these right skills? And I think there's not one solution fits all. We cannot say you need this skill and this skill and this skill, and then everything works fine. But I think there are some basic skills we need to run corporate innovation successfully. And I call this the innovation capabilities framework. And I would like to underline during this webinar 4 of them.
Okay.
And I will start with the design thinking, because in the pool, it was a second place with 18%.
Yes.
And I think it's a good position. For me, the design thinking, nevertheless, is a very overused buzzword. And often this is not applied properly, like I think. And I think the design thinking is about complex solving, problem solving. And interestingly, the World Economic Forum ranked this problem, complex problem solving, #1 skill for the future. And so this is the reason why I start with design thinking and the complex problem solving. And design thinking is a human-centered, innovative approach to create new ideas and solve problems, and to transform difficult challenges into opportunities. So this is a very good start to tackle problems and to be innovative, and to this powerful, effective, and broadly accessible approach allows innovation into all aspects of a business. And this approach is also very optimistic, collaborative, interdisciplinary, and it's a great start to identify opportunities and generate ideas and implement them in an iterative way. So, but design thinking is not a one-shot approach. Design thinking only works if there is a strategic intent of the company to have to implement long-term innovation within the company. And this is not a linear process. Nevertheless, you have the 5 steps of the design thinking, but you have to keep in mind that design thinking is always an iterative approach. And there, the innovation culture we need within the company comes is important. Mm.
Okay.
Yes.
So design thinking is the main skill to develop in order to start innovate within a company. Can you just give us an example or a case when design thinking is applied in order to to tackle with the innovation problems?
Yes, design thinking is, like I said, is a human-centered approach. And it's always good to ask at the beginning, who are my customer? What are their needs? What are the pain points I try to solve? And then starting from these insights with very empathic approach to really ask the right question. You know, like Albert Einstein said, if he had 1 hour to solve a problem, he would spend 55 minutes to ask the right question and only spend 5 minutes to build the solution. And this is actually the power of design thinking, to ask the right question at the beginning to be sure that we really address the right problem.
Great. So you said that you have 4 tools so yeah, the first is design thinking.
Yes, the second one I would like to talk a little more about is the business model innovation. On the pool, it was place 3, and business model innovation is very, very important as well to design, assess, and test innovative business models. Like we know all the examples like Espresso, IKEA, Airbnb, etc. And innovation through the business model is the art of strengthening the process that create value for the customer and capture that value as revenue stream for the company. So this is not only focusing on the idea, on the product or service, but more about how I bring this new idea to the market and how I can capture the value from it. And this there's also the corporate entrepreneurship, very important. So you don't have only to need to master the tool like the value proposition, the business model canvas, which are all free accessible from Strategizer, but it's also a kind of how we work together in a team, etc., to think and evolve over the time the business model. Important for this part is, in my experience, that we have also the top management buy-in and support. So this is sometimes in some projects it was difficult if we don't have the support. You cannot put in place what you imagine, and you need also the possibility to take risks and to test assumptions. The third one is the creative thinking, and this is, I think, is very interesting that on our pool it was the first place, and I agree in some way with it. because the creative thinking is the boost the creative potential and challenge the people to think differently. Often I have the impression that the creative workshops is a very creative, playful, colorful post-it training workshop session, but often it stops there. We have a lot of colorful post-its, and then the problem is how to implement the outcome of this workshop. But for me, the creative mindset is more than just a nice workshop, because it's really helping with techniques and tools to be more creative and find innovation solution. And it's not only the tools and techniques, but also the mindset. Like, for example, that everybody can be creative. Often people think, oh no, I'm not creative, I cannot invent new things, or people just help them to think differently, or built on the idea of others. There are a lot of techniques actually to foster creativity. And also one interesting point is often people think that innovators are the lonely genius innovator, like Steve Jobs, who wake up one morning and had a great idea.
Exactly.
This is not really, that people think often, I'm not Steve Jobs, I cannot do innovation, but it's not true. We have to learn some tools, some techniques that need the right mindset, and we can help people to come into this mindset to build really new ideas and be creative. Also here, the World Economic Forum said creativity will become one of the top 3 skills worker will need in the future. Also in contact with the fourth industrial revolution, where a lot of data and data mining and computer will do a lot of work we do today, but the creativity is a human thing, and we need to develop this capacity.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and the last tool.
The last one is the systems thinking I want to talk about today. We have 9% in the pool, maybe also because it's a little bit more unknown. For me personally, it's the skill with the most hidden potential, because design thinking, business model innovation, and creative thinking, these are things we more or less know and is used in business. But systems thinking is a little bit more difficult maybe at the beginning to apply, but there is a tremendous potential in it. Why? Because with systems thinking, we don't focus only on our problem and try to solve it, but we really zoom out and try to see in which context my problem is situated. And this is a very powerful approach, because it helps us to also to understand more in detail the interconnection of the system where my problem is situated, and we can looking for leverage points to make our innovation in the system happen, because in a new product or service is never standalone. It's always things around, and we have to take this in account as well to make this innovation happen.
Yeah. These are the important skills, but the question is how we can develop these skills. So for our employees, or maybe we are interested to develop these skills for ourselves. So how to start developing such skills? Who can help us with this initiative?
Yes, like I said, for me, sometimes I'm a little bit frustrated if I just give trainings, maybe one-day training, because I give all the input, what we should do, how it works, etc. But it's difficult to close the gap between the theory I have within the training and the real working life. So what I think is a very powerful approach is more the coaching approach, the learning on the job by doing something, giving support, giving at the right moment the right tool or right methodology to help people working on their concrete project, and learning by doing innovation the right skills and mindset. I think this is the most powerful approach you can choose to upskill your workforce.
Okay, yeah, so you can do it exactly with the approach of the concrete tasks and concrete challenges within the company to solve.
Exactly,
Okay.
Exactly. So this is there's a double interest of this kind of trainings, because you not only give the skills and then you leave them alone, the people, but you really, by working on the concrete skills within the company, you create added value for the company by learning new innovative skills.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. The next topic, maybe it's we hear a lot, really a lot about the startup mindset, about the startup approach, and so on. But the question is exactly, so what does it mean, and why it's important to use this mindset if you work in a large company, if you're not a startup?
Okay. Yes. First of all, like you said, we talk a lot about that we need incorporate also startup mindset. This is very complicated. You cannot take the mindset of startup and just implement it in a corporate, because the context is completely different. But nevertheless, you can take some elements, and it is very important to make innovation happen. So this is a very great question. So firstly, you have to know that innovation can come from anywhere, anytime within the company. So we need that employees in all job functions and all levels should be encouraged to come up with innovative ideas and given the support needed to implement them. And important to understand is that innovation is not just a process or tool. It's not, we have a problem, now we make innovation to solve the problem. This is more about, should be more present in the day-to-day business mindset, and not just an approach to develop a new product. And therefore, I always underline that we have to focus on people and not just on technology when incubating new ideas. This is very important. And other key ingredients are to emphasize cross-functional teams and think outside of functions and break down business units. Also to enable transparent digital communication amongst teams and stakeholders. This is very important. And also to encourage rapid prototyping and for solutions, and validate concepts with potential customers early on, and pivot fast if necessary, and also the willingness to take risks. And these are often blockers in corporates, because taking risk is not in the normal DNA of a big company, but this is the mindset shift we need to make innovation happen within the corporate.
Okay. So basically, do you need, if I'm a corporate like CEO, for example, so from what should I start to implement this startup mindset? Maybe you have some cases or something. So
yes, good question. Yes, I would always start with the concrete challenge, the concrete problem, and then, like I said, taking this as an opportunity to learn and to bring in the innovation mindset, because it's you cannot only read and make trainings to make it happen. You have to apply, and you have to encourage people doing it. So like a doctor, he don't become a doctor by reading books and make trainings. They really have to apply and to manipulate, to really understand what this is about.
Okay, so if I understand correctly, within this innovative transformation, it's very important to have a relevant partner, a relevant coach, or relevant trainers that can actually guide you through this process, give you some theory, but also guide during the implementation, during the practice.
Exactly, yes.
Okay. Good. So good. So we have what else is very important. So for example, we identified the relevant skills. We upskilled our employees, our team members. We tried to implement the startup mindset. But the question is, what are the tools to build an efficient teams? how to do the employees need to interact, need to communicate, to collaborate in order to implement these innovations.
Mm-hmm.
What are the secrets of building strong teams?
Yes, this is an excellent question. So often within Airbus, we had the experience that the idea is important, of course, but the team working on it is even more important. If you have people and a good team working on it with a willingness to and the right mindset, they can go very, very far, and they have come up with very creative and innovative solution. And if we start, for example, a sprint, an innovation sprint, a 100-day sprint, we
Yeah.
always start with 1 week upskilling the team with all the design thinking, business model innovation, agile framework, etc. But the more important is actually to create a team, a strong team that develop the ability to work aligned and have the same goal and stay aligned during the sprint and working in a great way together. And this is what I call the innovation coaching, actually. So I work as a mentor within the teams, and I focus on the challenge they like to address. And I help them to take the right action. And I'm really focused on the needs of the team. And I listen and to provide the team with ongoing tools, resources, and support and help to fulfill the innovation and the business goals of the team. And the importance there is that we have to know that people have different capabilities. So one is maybe a person who is more the seed, who have good ideas. The other is maybe more a person who is the finisher, who finish at the end of the project. He is very, very strong.
Yeah.
So we have to be aware that there are different people working in a team, and we're using tools as well, like Lebelbin, to evaluate at the beginning of a project what kind of personalities are in the team, and being sure that we have the right people in the team. And if not, just to be aware of this, that maybe we need somebody who is more the finisher, or more somebody with the creative ideas. So I think this is very, very interesting. And the combination of all this, of the upscaling of tools and methodologies, the accompaniment of as an innovation coach to provide help during the sprint and the innovation project, we have really had very great results with an Airbus. In the last project I worked, we had for each euro Airbus put in this project, Airbus got €6 back. That means it was very efficient and very good for Airbus to invest in this kind of innovation projects, because we had all the good mindset, but also this innovation coaching, helping the people to be aligned.
Okay, so it's a complex of different programs helping the corporate to upskill the employees, to implement startup mindset, and also helping to coach the teams to work in the right way. Is that correct?
Exactly, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Very interesting, actually. So the question regarding the teams, it's also related with the current reality that we face, is that like 90% of everyone, every large company is working remotely now. And, do you see any difficulties with managing the teams remotely, with like interacting, with realizing this innovative project in a new reality, or how we need to adapt to this?
Of course, the remote working brings new challenges, but we had great experience with using digital tools like working with online canvas to like Klaxoon, or I did a lot of different tools that really helps to make it collaborative work, and also remotely. And of course, it brings challenges, but I think, like you said, this is a little bit the new reality, and we have to adapt to this. And of course, it will be better to be in the same room, because this creates a synergy, and we have lot of energy in the room, and if the walls are all over this good idea, post-its and drawings and everything, it fosters the creativity. But
Yeah.
we have good tools today to do it also remotely.
Okay. Okay, great. I think that we can start ask you the questions from our participants as we have them. So the question is, are there any tools or methodology available to identify corporate staff suitable for innovation teams?
This is a very good question. I'm not aware about this, that there are tools to identify, because it's really a question of personality, of mindset of people. I think I have a one colleague within Airbus I work a lot with, and he has a big network. And this also, I think, is very important, have this kind of innovation ecosystem, that you have people who know who works on what, or the technical skills and etc., but who has also the right mindset. Because you need people who are open, they are willing to be challenged, they don't watch the time and go home at 5 p.m. every day. They also, I don't want to say if you innovate, you have to make a lot of extra hours, but in a lot of corporates, there's no not a lot of time given to work on innovation projects, and a lot of people do it on top of the job because they are passionate. And this, I think, you need passionate people, and if you have somebody who knows the ecosystem, innovation ecosystem within your company, he can pick out the right people and help to build a good team working on it.
And have you ever worked with with an innovation DNA test within the corporates? I know that we have like such tests for their employees in order to detect their ability to innovate. Have you ever worked with it? And
I didn't work with this. It sounds very interesting. I will have a look at this. Sounds cool. Yeah.
Okay. And
maybe I wanted to add maybe one point, which is very important for me personally. If you talk about innovation, and you might know the three circles of design thinking, that you have to match desirability, feasibility, and viability of the project. So that means if the client using it and is willing to put money on the table, this is desirability. The feasibility, if it's technically possible to put in place, and the viability, is there also a business model behind. But I think today we have also, and the COVID crisis also for me one turning point in this sense, that we need also a fourth circle, which is the sustainability. Because there are different studies from Harvard Business Review and Deloitte that they found out that often, interestingly, the most innovative companies are also sustainable leaders in the market. And I think we don't have to only think about new innovation to create another nice plastic bottle, but maybe we have to think very radical shift and think, okay, how we could replace the plastic by something else. And this is interesting because if you have, creativity is, if you have constraints, you are even more creative to find solutions. So I think there's a lot of things to do in future with the link of sustainability and innovation.
Yeah, it's very, very important. We have another question related with the aerospace companies. So some aerospace companies created separate Skunk Works units to develop innovative products, keeping them separate from regular manufacturing to avoid the culture conflict. What do you think about this approach?
So if I understood right this question, the question is that we have two different areas, one innovation area and the core business of the company. And of course you have to separate the both, because you cannot change a whole big company one day to another. You need an innovation part where you can really have the freedom to fail. You can can apply all this innovation mindset we just talked about. But the importance is, and therefore the question is very interesting, we have to assure that all the new ideas and the new business models emerging from this innovation cell is strongly related to the core business, because otherwise the core business will say sooner or later, it's very interesting what you're doing, but it's not interesting for our core business. So we have to be sure that there's still interconnected the both different parts of the culture of innovation and the core business.
Okay, thank you. And also the question, so some characters of team to consider while making a team to start a businesses. Like, I suppose that the participant is asking, do you know what are the core characters of the team to consider?
Yeah, good question. I like I said, I think the most important is to be curious, to be ready to be challenged, to be yes, curious, I said, but it's just, you know, I have the kind of colleagues within Airbus. They are always the antennas to think about why is today like this, why we couldn't do it differently. Maybe it makes more sense to do it like this, because it's not the reason to stay with it because we did it already 30 years. I have another idea, let's try it. So also this always asking questions, always try to make things different and to bring new innovative solution in the company.
Okay, yes, it's very important. Is it related with with the type of creative thinking you were talking about?
Yes. There, creativity is a skill you can learn. So I would not say that there are creative people with a lot of ideas and they are not creative people.
Okay.
I think you just maybe for some people it's easier than for others, but I think you cannot say that classify people, the innovators are not innovators. I think if you create the right culture and the right mindset within the company or within the innovation part of the company, everybody can contribute and everybody will have great ideas. Interestingly, also, if I run workshops, and I try also to have teams which are very multidisciplinary and also different organization levels. So some head-offs, but also some trainees. And often the trainee don't, is a little bit shy and want to say what he thinks. But with our creativity techniques, we give everybody the possibility to contribute. And often the people which have less experience have the most creative ideas. Why that? Because they have a fresh eye on it. They ask so-called stupid questions, which are maybe not that stupid, and then really it can give can give a shift to discussion, because somebody who is already 30 years in a company, he is trained to see things in a special way, and somebody new maybe has a very different regard and brings some very good innovation to the company.
Okay, so
Yeah.
and the next question is related with this creativity thinking. So can the ability to think creatively be developed?
Yes,
Yes.
of course. This is it's creativity. Often people think this is I know drawing or not, but it's not this. I'm an artist. So creativity, being creative and being an artist are two things very different. So what we try to build within the people is really to think differently, to connect things which seems not to be connected, and come up with new ideas like this. So yes, you can train your creativity skills.
Great. Okay.
Yeah.
The next question is from South Australia.
Yes.
And the question is, do you believe that potential cash flow and financial constraints on companies during COVID-19 might have an influence on corporate innovation?
Yes, of course. I heard a lot about a lot of projects which I cancelled because it seems not to be business critical for companies right now, which I can understand. But there's also a positive thing. I have tried always to see the positive side of the things. Because before COVID, maybe you had a lot of different innovation initiatives, which are not all bringing added value to the company. It's about interesting working on it, and maybe there could one day be an interesting outcome. What with the constraints of budgets today, um, companies try to focus more on the really essential projects, and you organize today the innovation portfolio in a way that you have a lot of projects and you try to find the one big idea within this innovation portfolio. And this one, you pick this golden nugget, you pick out and you scale it up to create a lot of revenue for the company. So the approach is different. You have less money, but you try to spend this money better for innovation.
Okay, good. So two more questions. They are
Yes.
quite interesting, and then we can sum up our session today. So the question is, what are the main innovation trends in the future for people services? I think that the question is, what are the main innovation trends in future?
Yes, if I understand right the question, so if you talk about upskilling people or skills,
Yeah, it's
innovation skills, uh, like I said, the World Economic Forum who ranked creativity as a very important skill, and also the complex problem solving. And I think these are the most important skills we need in the future. Yeah, the question is not very clear for me, so we can discuss maybe afterwards more in detail with this person, with
yes,
Paulina. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yes. And the last question, I think that it's the most interesting one. So thank you for the excellent webinar today. I would like to know what is innovation.
Okay. Oh, there are a lot of the definitions of innovation. For me, I think the most important or very good definition of innovation is that we create value, deliver value to the market, and capture the added value back to the company. So it's not only having an idea in the state in the status, but also bring it to the market and capture the value. This is for me the most, yeah, it is the most important, because often if you have a creative idea in invention, it's not yet an innovation. It's still an invention. So you need to bring it to the market and also to capture the value, because if you don't capture the value, the company will die.
Very insightful. Let's maybe sum up
Okay.
our talk today. So I'm going to share the slide you wanted to share with us. Yeah, maybe some key insights, some key points of today's talk.
Yes. So, like you maybe recognize, this is the questions we ask in the pool, the 6 skills, and the creative thinking to boost the creative potential and challenge people to think differently. This was one of the the most important thing I wanted to underline today. And for me, the design thinking to the human-centered innovative approach to create ideas and to solve the problems is for me still one of a good starting point to identify opportunities and identify pain points to start an innovation project working on it. And of course, the business model innovation will become more and more important to design and assess and to test innovative business models. Because if you only stay on the project and don't have the right business model to bring it to the market and to capture the value, like I said earlier, it is much more powerful to have also an innovative business model for the product. And then my personal favorite is the system thinking and to tackle complexity. There we have a lot of tools and to apply system thinking to concrete projects. And I was, for example, at the beginning of this year, before the COVID crisis in Rome, at the World Food Program of the United Nations, and I gave a training about system thinking for them, and they were really delighted and to see things differently and have a different approach to solve problems, which often are recurrent problems that come back again. So if you have a different approach and different view on the things, that can really deblock the situation and find another solution for the problems. And then, of course, we have the agile way of working. I didn't talk about this so much today, but of course, if you want to have a team which implements the idea and working in a self-empowered and self-organized way, the agile way of working is essential. And then the last point I can mention is the team coaching, the innovation coaching. So where really somebody helps the teams to give the right tool or the right methodology at the right moment, and helping the team to stay aligned and working towards a common goal in alignment with the stakeholders, with what the stakeholders want to have like output of this project.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely it's like this. So people are always in the center of all initiatives and all strategies and corporate innovations and even all the activities. So it's very important to develop the skills, even without any corporations, just for yourself, just to be on the top
Exactly.
of the
Yeah.
career. Yeah. So thank you, Jelto. Thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you for the knowledge you shared with us and for the insights. We have a lot of questions again, but so we are running out of time. So we will share with our participants your contacts, and then please reach out to Jelto directly if you have any questions. Yeah.
Exactly. So thank you very much for the invitation, and thank you very much, Amy, for organizing this and all the Generation S team. It was a pleasure being with you here. And like you said, I'm very open to discuss with all the attendees about this very passionate topics, and don't hesitate to reach out for me via email or on LinkedIn, and it would be a pleasure to have a conversation with you about this topic.
Thank you. So thank you for joining us today, and see you. I hope to see you next time on September 22. We're going to discuss the entrepreneurship programs with our partners from Silicon Valley, Mach 49, and with incredible Dave Blakely. So hope to see you in September.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Have a nice day. Bye.
You too. Bye.
Bye.